just go back, I'm John Rose. I reside in Bainbridge Island, Washington. I direct Olympic Property Group, which is the real estate part of Hope Resources. I'll go to the zoning map. At last week's community meeting, we spent no small amount of time talking about the zoning map around Port Ludlow and why it looks the way it does today. It was the subject of about a 5-year process called the Port Ludlow Planning Forum. Began in 1996 and closed in 2001 when we sold to Port Ludlow Associates. What's important to note about that is we drew for the first time a boundary around Port Ludlow. We formed 23 committees to say, ask the question, as Pope exits this community, how do we want it to look? What things should we do? Because this is the last shot to work together on things inside of the NPR. Community's number one issue was no more people. So they put a cap on the number of human beings that could be inside the NPR, 250, if my memory serves me correctly. They drew a line around the NPR and said no more NPR. And then we put a layer of 20-acre buffers around the NPR. And so that's the light green that you see that goes around the NPR and Pope Resources land. It does not fall completely on the DNR land because they were part of the Port Ludlow Planning Forum. So the zoning on those parcels that we're looking at in exchange are really 80-acre zoning is the majority. But the idea was inside the NPR, limit the number of people, do a transitional zone of 20-acre lots, and then it's back to resources, timber, gravel, mining, and cell towers. And that's how that map came to be. This is not a good way to deal with a transaction of this scale and magnitude. We have certainly, just in reading the newspaper, looking at websites, gotten a sense of the passion around this exchange. I'd like to invite us back to have a more thoughtful session with you at some point, either one-on-one with John because it's in his district, or here. There's a hearing coming up at the end of the month, and I just think this is too much to do in this forum. There's a lot of good work that the DNR and us have put in on this, but if you don't get the facts, then the work's not really going to be used. So I don't know if it's possible to get on an agenda beforehand, but this is definitely not the right, 3 minutes for any of us is probably not the right way to take on something like this. So if there's a way to do that,
What was the hearing date? What was the hearing date, John?
31st. 31st, March 31st.
Was that a DNR hearing?
Yeah,
Correct. Public.
All right,
thanks.
Anybody else?